Welcome to the Dandy's Roll tutorial. Strap in and hold on tight as you listen to the little tips and tricks on how to survive Dandy's World. Good luck! This section of what I'm going to be talking about is going to be about what tune you may or may not want to pick for whenever you do start Dandy's World, because it can be kind of, a little bit harder to understand what to use, which doesn't make sense, but it will after I start explaining. So basically, you're given two options. And these tunes, you'd think they would only be, boy and girl, so it'd be hard to differentiate which one you want. But that is, in fact, not the case. The first one that you can be choosing is Poppy, a small little bubble whose ability is to speed up for 3 seconds whenever you're hit. This can come in handy for players that usually have a hard time running away, as the 3-second speed boost can really save you in a pinch. Your second option is a music box called Boxton. His ability gives you an extraction boost of 6% for everyone who is alive in your run. Now, these tunes, whenever just thrown into your face, may be really hard to decide which one you want. But it can be less harder to pick whenever you figure out what your playstyle is. Now, what is a playstyle? A playstyle is basically how you choose to play the game that you are doing. So when Dandy's World, we have the different roles, like there's a supporter, a distractor. I can't think of any right now. But they all contribute something to the plot, and that's how you want to play. For Poppy, it can help through someone who's just joined the game, which may sound a little weird at first, but it really truly is helpful. For Boxton, it's someone who's a little bit more experienced in what I'm talking about, and the extraction boost can really help you to cater to these play styles. You kind of need to have a basic knowledge about trinkets, which my friend Fruitful Cake will talk about in the next section. Bye.
Since I myself have a high floor of 40,
Shut your fucking mouth!
Sorry, I think I'm well suited to speak on this topic. Are you dying before floor 10 in all of your runs? Here's how to, not do that. When being tasted by a Twisted, in this case a common such as Poppy or Yada, do not run in a straight line. Instead, run behind a box or an island. Common Twisteds will usually lose sight of you and walk away. If you are low on stamina, stay there and wait until it regenerates to at least 100. This is so you're less vulnerable in the case a Twisted spots you. Now, in the rare chance of main Twisted, for example Pebble, spawns on a floor 5 through 10, simply avoid them. Simple as that. However, if you are extra unlucky and get a blackout in a main, just be very cautious of your surroundings and listen closely to sound cues. Think about how close they sound to you. If you hear their footsteps right in your eardrum, then they're obviously closer and you should hide behind something. However, if their footsteps are faint or not there at all, then they're far and you should be free to move about. Other than that, just keep helpful items on you, such as pops or other rare items. We will go more into depth about those later. Until then, let's learn about how to survive difficult Twisteds.
Hi everybody, so in this section I'm going to be talking about some tricky twisties. Anyways, so for every tune there is a twisted counterpart, which some can be way trickier. For the most part, though, if you know how to deal with them, they're pretty easy. Some of the hardest ones are called mains, which are given more special abilities that make the game harder. The first one's name is Astro, who gives a tired debuff, which makes your stamina increase slower than average. This can hurt you in a pinch, but it's one of the easiest out of the 5s, in my opinion. As long as you avoid him and make sure that he, isn't, always giving you that tired debuff, and you just make sure to watch your stam throughout the floor, you should be good. Now, there is Shelly. She is a faster than average Twisted, which gives out Confused, which causes slower extraction. This can make the floor harder since, it just makes it last longer, and the longer you are on a floor, the longer that you do possibly end up with, dying. The third one's name is V. She gives out these little ads that you have to click off your screen, which can really hurt you, as it's all in your face, so you can't really watch what you're doing. But getting her isn't that bad. Oh, do I also mention She gives out the slow debuff, which basically means that you are slower than average when you have this debuff. Just make sure you stay out of her way and you should be fine. Now, V can be pretty tricky. She probably has to be one of the hardest other than Pebble, but I would say her trinket does make it worth the while. Now, there is Sprout, and Sprout is, I'd say, more laid back. They're pretty slow, and their only special ability is that they spawn these tendrils that if you stay in too long in it, it will take a heart. Now, make sure to just stay clear of these tendrils and run away if you spawn in one, because if you just in there for a second as it spawns right in you, you should be okay. Now, for the most scariest one, Twisted Pebble! Only real ones get that reference. But so Twisted Pebble is really fast. I mean, faster than the demon child. But as long as you make sure that he isn't, catching up to you, as long as you just stay out of his way. Heck, for all of them, just stay out of their way and you should be fine. Now, for the scary people. Honorable mentions, as I call them, the Craft siblings, Goob and Scraps. Now, I have to say it. I don't care. You can be watching this as just a Dandy's World player, and you know what I'm talking about. Scraps is worse than Goob. You can't tell me any different. So, basically, Scraps and Goob are long-range Twisteds that attack you from a far distance. Now, there is a difference. Scraps just attacks you from long distance, while Goob just grabs you and then attacks you. This doesn't seem like a big difference, because it's not. It really doesn't make a difference. Scraps is just scary because it's Scraps. As I said, they are just out of their way, but there's also another tactic that really does help with them. They pause before they decide to, attack you. So as long as you make sure that they stay away from you for if you see them right next to you and they stop and their thing reaches out, run behind an island or just a wall that can be out of the way. Now, for one that isn't really hard, but it does deserve a mention, so R&D is a Twisted that in their circle, if you run, they will get up and attack you no matter where you are in the circle. But just don't walk in the circle, and also you can hide behind a wall. As long as you're out of their sight, they can't attack you. Anyways, bye now.
Here are some helpful trinkets that are somewhat easily attainable for when you're new. Dog Plush Toodles Trinket provides plus 10% walk speed. Don't use on slow characters. It can work well on 3-star speed tunes and up. Pink Bow Poppy Trinket provides 7.5% run speed. Great for slower characters, 2 stars and below. Magnifying Glass Rogers Trinket provides skill check completion boost, but lessens skill check size by 33%. Do not use on low skill check characters like Cosmo. It helps with faster machine completion, one of my personal favorites. Speedy Shoes Dandy Shop Trinket provides 5% walk speed and 5% run speed. If you're looking into distracting, this is great paired with Dog Plush. Wrench Dandy Shop Trinket, pretty much just a free jumper cable every floor. Good placeholder until you get magnifying glass. That's about it for trinkets you should use when you're starting off, or even when you're more experienced. Maybe not wrench though, the rest are great.
This segment's gonna be pretty short, but it's basically gonna be what trinkets you should not use whenever we are, starting out. For the love of God, if you're using coin purse or fancy purse, I'm going to drop kick you and find your family and curse them for the rest of eternity. I swear to God, they are the worst trinkets. And you might think, oh my God, well, Danny loves selling meds and heals in first floor. Why the fuck do you need a med or a heal, first floor? You don't. Okay, buddy? Okay. Don't use fishing rod. It's not good. It's good for little jokes and ha-has, but don't actually use it. And brick, don't fucking use brick. Read the fucking description, dumbasses. Anyways, bye. Yeah.
Ever wondered what items you should keep in your inventory? Well, to give you an idea, it should not be stealth candies and gumballs. An example of a good item is my personal favorite boxes of chocolate. You can use them all at once, or just one by one for whenever you need a quick stamina boost. They're great for a quick escape, or when you're out of stamina, or just being jumped by every twisted under the sun. Now obviously, heals are great to have, but do not fill up on them without an escape item. 2 heals and a box/eject button /smoke bomb/bottle of pop would be good, or 2 escape items and 1 heal. As long as you have an item for speed/stam, you'll be okay. A more gimmicky type item is the Jawbreaker. I find these fun, but it is not smart to rely on them. But they are nice to item if you lack a better item. They've definitely saved me a few times with that speed boost. Instructions are also great. Now I know, they're just an uncommon item. They're more to me. They are so helpful when it comes to completing a machine faster and easy to get to. Jumper cables are also nice, but I personally prefer instructions. Speed candies can come in clutch if you're playing a faster character but have low stamina, such as Yada, and need to escape without running. Skill check candies are underrated, providing a skill check chance buff, which can help with machine completion. Protein bars can be nice for fast stamina regeneration, but that's all I can think of for now in terms of helpful items. Let's move on to see how stats work.
So this segment is going to be talking about how stats work. Have you ever wondered why your character may be moving slower than others or extracting faster than others? That is because of stats. Stats are these little points that is given to each character attribute in order to affect how your character works, such as how 4-star extraction is going to be slower than 5-star extraction, or having if you have 2-star stealth, the tisted would say on you if you pass someone who has 5-star stealth. Stats, the more of it you have it, the better it is, such as 5-star stamina would give you 200 stamina, while 1-star stamina would give you 100. That's about it. Bye, y'all.
Pretty much, this is just how to be a good teammate/player, which will be important if you're looking to get to high floors, as people will be happy to play with you if you keep your teammates in mind. Starting off, maybe let's not snatch every rare item for ourselves. While I understand prioritizing yourself, being selfish is not the answer, especially in a team-oriented game. If you're playing a faster character and not distracting, it's best to call out rare speed items to lower characters such as V or Connie. These items being box or eject buttons. If you're playing someone fast with high stamina, maybe grab the bottles of pop instead. Also, it's impolite to take heals whenever your team is in bad shape, when you yourself are not. You don't need your 3rd medkit when your whole team is on 1 heart. However, if you're hit and there's no healer or an incompetent healer, take the heals, as in that circumstance you actually need it. Moving on, if you happen to have a sprout on your team, try to leave the majority of tapes behind. Taking 1 or 2 is acceptable, but taking everyone in sight is rude and makes it more difficult for them to heal. And I'd assume you want a healer to heal, correct? Yeah. My next point is machine stealing. I know some people may be like, well, I don't see your name on it. You have the brain of a toddler. Anyways, if someone has taken off their machine due to a twisted spawning them, don't take it. Just find another one or wait until next floor. Not that hard. Unless they move on to another machine. Then you can take it. Now, to my last point. If you're in a run with a distractor, stay out of their way. Especially if you're playing someone with low stealth like Brightney. Leave the machines near the distractor to someone with higher stealth. Trust me, it isn't hard. Now, what do you do if you're in a situation with players with less good manners?
In Dandy's world, a lot of the community are kids, so prepare for childish behavior while engaging in drama. Try to diffuse the situation, while arguing can just potentially ruin a one. I say this as a person who gets angry at people myself. Don't do what I do, promise. It's also very good to take into account starter discrimination. It can be very dormant, but being calm can make bad situations better. Such as, if you're boxed in and someone decides, hey, I'm gonna mess with this guy, and starts yelling at you. If you just start acting, in a good way, people mainly take your side and the person may stop.
Some specific runs are dandy runs. A dandy run is where you don't buy from the shop until dandy spawns. This is so people can get their dandy research. Dial run. Another run intended for research. However, this run is just like any other. Only rule is that when the time's up card shows up, the card that spawns dial, you vote it and participate in the challenging floor. Main hunt, or insert character name here hunt, literally just a normal run, but your team gets excited when they see said twisted. Death run / battle royale, a run where griefing, leading twisteds to your team, is acceptable, the end goal being the last one standing. Avoid these if you're looking for regular gameplay. Main only run, a run strictly for main tunes. If you're not playing a main, don't join these. organized run. Typically a run where you have to play specific meta characters in hopes to get to higher floors. Spoiler, these almost always suck. Those are the more common ones you'll see. Now, into slang. GTE gets elevator. This is said when someone is on the last machine. EAE. Everyone at elevator. This is to tell the distractor once you get to the elevator. PMW. Panic mode warning. This is to warn the distractor that the elevator is about to open and the twisteds are about to speed up. Typically used when faster twisteds are on the floor, like Pebble, Doodles, Shelly, etc. Bop. Bottle of pop. A rare item that spawns. Bok. Box of chocolates. A rare item that spawns. Med. Med kit. Healing item that restores 2 hearts. Band. Bandage. Healing item that restores 1 heart. ATG. All twisteds gathered. Sip a distractor to alert the extractors that it is safe to move about. Usually set in a blackout or when tricky twisteds are on the floor. This one is more rare though. T. Insert character name here. Twisted character. This is to warn your team about a certain twisted on the floor. These are the ones I can think of for now. I'm sure there are more, but these are more important ones to remember.